Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. Today I'm talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2023. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check them out. There's links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music Weekly playlist we put together, and also the Patreon page. Make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So it's that time of the year again where everyone gets all upset when the list of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees comes out that their favorite musician isn't on there, and all these people, they get snubbed, and everyone goes crazy on social media, and it's always kind of comical to go on there and read all the comments. But I actually think this is a pretty decent list this year. I'm going to kind of give you my reasons why. And of course, I'm not saying this list is perfect. There's, of course, some huge omissions. I'm not a huge Iron Maiden fan. I really think Iron Maiden deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, I know a lot of people were really upset that Soundgarden didn't get in, but if you really think about it, grunge is largely overlooked by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and I don't really consider Pearl Jam a grunge band, but they're definitely 10 is kind of a grunge album. But, you know, those are really the only two grunge bands that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Alice in Chains isn't in there. Soundgarden isn't in there. So, you know, I know a lot of people were upset that Soundgarden didn't get in this year, but like I said, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has kind of largely overlooked grunge, really kind of the same way they've largely overlooked metal over the years also. You know, as far as metal goes, you got Black Sabbath and Metallica, of course, they're in, but you know, really that's kind of it until Judas Priest made it in last year, and they didn't even make it in as under the performers category. They made it in under the music excellence category. It does seem like a lot of people were kind of upset that Kate Bush was inducted this year. She's been previously nominated 3 times. I think she definitely deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She might have only had a couple of huge major hits during her career. She's released a bunch of great albums over the last 45 years. And over the last 45 years, she's been probably one of the most influential female musicians, producers in music. And that kind of goes along with Sheryl Crow also. In the mid to late 90s, female musicians were huge, especially in the mainstream music, mainstream rock music. You know, female-fronted bands, female solo artists. And I think a lot of that had to do with the success that Sheryl Crow had in the 90s and even like into the early part of the 2000s. She still had huge major hits and a lot of success in her career. So she's another female artist that I think really deserves to be there, even though there are other musicians or other female artists that I think maybe deserve to be in there before her and Kate Bush. But, you know, you can't induct everyone all at once. And I kind of understand that you got to kind of spread things out over the years. And if you really think about it, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is kind of a tourist attraction anyway. So there's some of that kind of plays into all that, you know, what is going to push and move people to go see their museum. Now, speaking of great female musicians, you got Missy Elliott being inducted this year. And I know, this is the part where everyone throws their hands up in the air and gets all crazy about how dare they induct rock and roll musicians into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They should call it just the Music Hall of Fame, even though there already is all those kind of American Music Hall of Fames and Songwriter Hall of Fames and every other kind of Hall of Fame. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, since it began back in 86, I think was the first class that went in, there's been non-traditional musicians or non-traditional rock musicians inducted every single year. I know Missy Elliott's not a rock and roll musician. Same way with Dolly Parton last year. She wasn't a rock and roll musician. Willie Nelson's going in this year also. He's not a rock and roll musician. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame looks at bigger things other than that, you know, cultural influence. They look at, overall music influence. They don't just look at the music, and I think that's kind of where everyone gets kind of hung up on it. But Missy Elliott's a fantastic musician. Before she had her solo career, she was a hugely influential producer. She was a record label owner. She's done a lot of other things in music that I think all kind of putting the whole package together. I think she really deserves to be in there. It's great to finally see George Michael finally get inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, he over the course of his career, he was one of the biggest musicians in the world, sold millions and millions of albums. I think he's somebody that really deserves to be in there. And I already touched on Willie Nelson a little bit ago, but, you know, he's a musician that, yes, he's known for country music. So he's not a traditional musician you see get inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But Willie has blended other genres into his music, whether that's jazz, blues. He has blended rock into his music also. So, the overall package, he created his own unique style of country music. And it's great to see him get inducted this year. Rage Against the Machine seems to be another one of those artists that's getting inducted this year that seems to be getting a lot of hate online about their inclusion. But, how could they put them in over other bands like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Iron Maiden? The list goes on and on. But Rage Against the Machine was a very different kind of music that they really kind of helped pioneer in the 90s. Stuff that maybe there were some other acts doing similar stuff, but they were kind of the first in the mainstream that would really kind of push that different music in a different direction in the 90s. And I think that's really why they were included and really why they deserve to be in there. And then last in the performers category this year is the Spinners. The Spinners actually started in Detroit. I think they were signed to Motown, actually, when they first started. Ended up moving over to Atlantic and really kind of defined that soul, the Philadelphia soul music sound that was really popular in the 70s, early part of the 80s. Some great hits came out of that. And they're just a fantastic band. If you're unfamiliar with the Spinners, definitely check them out. But they're another one of those non-traditional artists that are included this year. So over the last several years, when this list comes out, I always like to check out that early influences category because they've done some great musicians over the last several years. I know last year they did Elizabeth Cotten, Harry Belafonte, a couple of musicians that have been largely overlooked for decades and decades. And it was nice to see them get some recognition. This year is no different. You got DJ Kool Herc, which he is the godfather of hip hop. He was the kind of the founder of all of it. It was actually a block party in New York back in like '73 that is kind of largely looked on as like the beginning of hip hop. That was one of the parties he was putting together. So it's great to see him get some recognition this year. And then also going on this year is Link Wray, which a lot of people probably don't know all that much about, but he popularized the power chord, really pushed it out in the mainstream. Really, without that, you don't have punk, you don't have grunge, you don't have a lot of metal also. So it's really kind of interesting to see those early influences getting some recognition. It's great to see them out there, going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's both of those are fantastic additions. Then the music excellence category. So last year, this is where you get Judas Priest family getting inducted. This year, you got Chaka Khan, the queen of funk music. I think it's great to see her get some recognition. She is another one of those non-traditional musicians getting in there. You also got Al Cooper getting inducted this year. Somebody else that I think is kind of long overdue. A bunch of great production work over his career. Actually, I think one thing that kind of sparked his career was he was kind of the musical architect behind like a Rolling Stone for Bob Dylan. Kind of from there, did a bunch of great stuff throughout his career. And then you've also got Bernie Taupin, which somebody that's long overdue to get inducted. I think he really should have been inducted when Elton John was inducted also. So, those two have been kind of paired off throughout their entire careers. But it's great to see those three musicians getting inducted this year and get some recognition. And then last on the list is what used to be called the non-performers category. It's been changed to the Ahmet Ertegun Award. But this year you got Don Cornelius being inducted. He was the creator and host of Soul Train from the time it was founded in 1970 until he sold the rights to it in 1993. Of course, a long 20-plus year career in television and in music. It's great to see him get some recognition also. But that's it. That's the list. That's the class of 2023 for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is this a list I would put together? No. And I'm sure a lot of people out there aren't happy with it. But, largely I'm okay with it. I think there's a lot of great recognition in here. People that are like long overdue. Link Wray, for instance. It's great to see him get recognition, for his contribution to music over the last, several decades. But I don't know. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And that's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.